Hi everyone, welcome to Blue Heron Hill. I'm Sue. In the greenhouse right now, it's misting outside. We have a really thick cloud cover. Now the temperature is, I don't know, maybe high 40s, low 50s. Look what I have going on in my greenhouse. These are squashes, winter squashes that I planted up a couple days ago. I am hoping to see a little bit of sprouting going on. Over here, I have some things yet still to plant into the garden. These are herbs here. I've got some flowers here. My celery is looking a little short, even though I started it back in the latter part of February, but it should do fine. I got to get it out into the garden sometime soon when I find time. And then I have some more, I have some more flowers and such going on in here. Gardening season is well underway. Right now, I've started prepping my bed for potatoes. Yes, I am a little late. I could have gotten them in the ground 2 to 3 weeks earlier than this, but better late than never. But I think maybe what we'll do is I'll take you on a little bit of a garden tour. Not a whole lot growing as of yet, but it is exciting because we are starting the gardening season for sure now. So let's go. So this is a look at the fog bank that has rolled in. Right over here, that's actually our bay, but there's no seeing it right now. Chickens are out eating all this luscious grass that has just started greening up and growing. Here we have the little bunnies, Lolly and Poppy. They're enjoying the fresh grass as I pull them around the yard. No more dry hay for them. This is our first stop. This is a brassica bed here. A little hard to see. I'll take you underneath the cover. There we go. So you can see I've got a couple trays yet to go in. They're going to go in another bed, which is prepared, but I just haven't planted yet. This is what I am about ready to start today. But we'll get back to those in just a minute. Most of the gardening that's being done is being done over here in my main garden. You can see still tarped up and still covered up. Although right along here, I have planted some beets. They haven't come up yet. Not too worried. Down along here, you can see radishes have popped up. Here's some more here. I just love planting radishes. So cool. Put in a couple kale, those are coming up. Right over here, we have some more kale. And this is where I planted leeks. They are rather spindly, but no worries. They are off and growing right now. Across the way here, as you saw, I think in a previous video, onions. They are doing quite well, although every once in a while I come out here and I find some that have been pulled up. Like right there. It's either the squirrels or the robins are picking at them and pulling them up and then deciding, maybe I don't really like onions. We have some borage back here. And then across to that other bed, this is garlic. It's spectacular. Doing exceptionally well for this time of year even. This is my transplanted asparagus bed. You can see we've got some asparagus coming up here. There's one there, there's another one over there. But since I transplanted it over here, I think I'm going to be letting this go for a year at least without picking anything. Here we have another brassica bed. I don't know if you can tell in here. This is Napa cabbage, Chinese cabbage in there, covered over because of those little pesky little bugs that just love to eat all of my brassicas. Now, right along this row, there are my sugar snap peas, and they're doing fine. If you saw that video, I'll put a link up here in the corner, and you can see what I did to get those up and going. Here's my green stalk. This is one of them. This is the 5-tier green stalk. And a lot of this spinach is what I had planted here over the winter. But I have since come along and replanted some spinach here. Here's some lettuce that started to come up. Here's some red lettuce here. More leaf lettuce there. But I'm getting some nice seedlings coming up. Some of this spinach, you can tell, is starting to bolt. See how the stem is elongating here? So things like this are going to need to come out. And I'm going to replant in here. I have a tray of lettuce at the end there, little seedlings that I'll come and put into areas like this where I have to pull out my spinach. And right next to the greenhouse, this is my herb garden. I've got some thyme coming up here. I've got chives. There's oregano. This is lemon balm, I think. I have mint. Always plant your mint in a container, or else it'll get away from you and your whole garden will be mint. This is my 7-tiered green stalk, and you can see that my transplants have done exceptionally well. My some of my spinach is doing fine. This is spinach along here. I think this is tatsoi on this level here. I've put some onions in here, and these I probably will just pick as green onions. I tried to grow onions in this last year. Didn't really work. Down below on these lower level, I think I have Swiss chard and beets in that. But you can see how luscious this is. This calls for a cutting of this. And these I think I will do just kind of a cut off the tops and let more come again from underneath. This bed is destined for peppers this year. But last year it had potatoes in it. And look what I had found in that bed. These were starting to sprout already. Well, that guy's got a little bit of somebody munching on the inside of that one. That would have been a gorgeous one to, how did I miss that one? Anyway, so I dug those out. Here are my seed potatoes. These are Kennebecs here, and they were rather large, so I split them in half, let them set for a day or two so they scab over here without any chance of rot when they go into the ground. This was a bag of organic red potatoes now organic potatoes are not treated with anything to stop the sprouting. So when these started to sprout, I just let them go, and I'm going to use these as a seed potato in my bed. So that's what I'm going to do today, is plant these. So you can come along with me while I do that. Now these are the containers that I'm going to plant my potatoes in this year. I had them in ground last year with a couple in containers, but the container But the container potatoes did very well. So I have 4 there, and then 5 and 6 right here. And what I did was I filled them with soil and compost about halfway up. Nothing too hard about planting potatoes. It's really fairly simple. I start with a container that's about halfway filled. If I was doing them in the ground, I would be digging a trench and putting them in a trench. But since I'm doing them in a container like this, I fill the container halfway with my soil mix. This is a soil mix plus some shredded, almost decomposed leaves and some compost. And all you're going to do is, let's see, this is a large one, so I think maybe we can fit 5 in here. So what we do here is I dig a hole about 4 inches down, and the sprouts are going to be pointed upwards, and then I just cover it. When the sprouts start coming up, the shoots, and they get to be about 6 inches, then I'll cover them with more soil up to the level of the container. But right now, I didn't need to do that. So space them out pretty good. Press it down. And we're going to see how long it takes for these to start working their way up to the surface of the soil here. But it's important to let these scab over. It's important to let these scab over. So you don't want an open edge here, and they can then be more prone to rot. And as I said, these are white potatoes. They're Kennebecs. They're a very good storage potato. These red ones, I don't know what they were since they were bought at the market, but my guess is they're perhaps a Norland or some other, they're a red skin potato. So I have just a few more to do, so I'm going to do that and then I'll be back. Now I planted all of those planters. There were 6 of them, and I still have leftovers here. Plus I have these that were growing in my bed that I'm going to plant peppers in. So I thought, why let those go to waste? And so I dug a trench in a vacant area of my garden, and I have a few of the reds left. I have 1/2 of a Kennebec left, and I'm just going to plant them in this trench, and you can see the trench method. So here's one right here, and that already has a stalk coming up. So that's going to get planted down here. Here's another. I'm going to plant these about 12 inches apart. Now that was a healthy dose of compost on top of that, but it still has a trench to it. And I have dirt piled up, the soil piled up on either side. And as those start to sprout and get to be about 6 to 8 inches tall, then I'll fill them in with the soil that's on either side of that trench. This is a bonus garden, and we'll see how that turns out. We'll come back and revisit this area, this potato area, in the future, so stick with me. A little bit about the nutritional requirements for growing potatoes. Potatoes are a tuber, so what we eat is the underground portion of the plant. It does flower, and the flowers do produce these little berries, like not edible. But so we want to concentrate on nutrition that supplies the needs of the plant underground. Now, the nitrogen component is the first number in a fertilizer. So the potato itself needs a wee bit of nitrogen. Most of that it gets from what is stored in the actual potato itself, and it sends up that sprout above ground, so it starts the photosynthesis process. So it really does not need a lot of nitrogen to get going. But it does need the phosphorus and the potassium, those next two numbers. Phosphorus, important for the root development of the plant. And since that is the portion that is going to grow that tuber, along with what it gets from the sun and its leaves, that's what we need to concentrate on. So if you had a fertilizer that is heavier on the two last numbers than on the first one, that's probably a little bit better than having something high in nitrogen. That's their nutritional needs, and they are off to the races. Unfortunately, we aren't going to be able to tell how good our crop is until we actually dig it up. Although after a month or so, you could dig into the side of your mounds and perhaps harvest some new potatoes. Those are those smaller little ones, and eat those right away without disturbing the entire crop. The sun is desperately trying to burn off all this fog, and I'm hoping that it'll come out this afternoon. But this is just the start. In a couple weeks, I'm going to have my big Plantathon Marathon, where I'm getting all my peppers and my tomatoes in, and hopefully these will have started and they can go in, plus there's beans to go in. Lots and lots of stuff that just needs a hint of warmer weather before they can go in the ground. So tell me what's growing in your garden this time of year. And until the next time that we can go digging in the dirt, happy gardening. Bye.